Everybody, welcome back to Skill Check. I'm your host today, Garrett, and I'm joined with Colin. We're going to be going over World Eaters today. And they're probably one of the funnest armies I've played so far. I've only gone through Demon, CSM, and World Eaters so far. But yeah, let's get right into it. The army rule is Blessing of Corn. Basically what you do is you roll 8 dice, and then you can select up to 2 of these buffs to be active for the rest of the game. All the rest of the dice that you don't use are discarded. So these are very powerful effects. So, like I said, you roll 8 dice. There's some ways to manipulate these and roll this test again. The big deal is, we'll just go down the line, actually. We're going to go, any doubles is +2 move to all of your models. Pretty great. Any double again is a Feel No Pain, adding +1 if the model already has a Feel No Pain. Double 3+ to 3s, 4s, 5s, or 6s. Sustained hits 1. And then tonal cartage is double 4+ or any triples. And that is fight on death on 4+. Warp blades is double 5s or any triples, so lethal hits. And then the last one is unbridled bloodlust, which is the most powerful one. Either 2 6s or triple 4+, so 4s, 5s, or 6s. These are powerful. These are very, very, very powerful.
Yeah, that's kind of insane.
Yeah, so you can get +2 move, and then advance and charge for your army. Just off the rip. And you're actually pretty likely to get Unbridled Bloodlust. Somebody ran the math, and I think it's something like a 70% chance or something on 8 dice. Because it's any because you're guaranteed basically either 2 doubles or 1 triple. And so, like, the math works out to being a triple 4+ is actually not that unreasonable to get. Or double 6 is actually super likely to get as well. So those two adding together is something like an 80 percentile, I think, or 76 percentile. But all of these other buffs are good. You're guaranteed Rage-Fueled Invigoration and Wrathful Devotion, basically, all the time. So Feel No Pain and a 2-inch move, baseline, like at a minimum. Not to mention, I mentioned there's ways to do extra of these rolls and stuff. It's great.
Yeah, that's kind of insane.
Yeah. Relentless Rage. You get add 1 to your strength and attack characteristics on a turn in which you made a charge move. Pretty good.
Isn't that just like the Blood Angels thing?
I think it's literally identical. So, yep.
Yeah, I'm pulling up the Blood Angels ones right now as well, just to see.
That's fine. We can go ahead and talk about some of the stratagems. Gory Massacre. Fight phase. 1 warrior unit from your army that made a charge move this turn. In your opponent's next command phase, each unit within 6 must take a battle shock test. Doesn't matter if they're below half strength. If they are below half strength, subtract 1 from the test for enemy units afflicted by this stratagem. So this is just forcing mass battle shock if people are bunched up. This is great if you hit a screen and you bounce through. Everybody within 6 just has to take a battle shock test.
That's insane.
It's actually very powerful.
Yeah, that's so strong. I also did look it up, and Blood Angels is the exact same.
Yep.
So.
For the Blood God, your Warlord, just after a World Eater, sorry, I kept trying to say Warlord, destroys an enemy unit, that World Eater unit, for the target, makes a Blessing of Corn roll. You can use the result to activate one of the Blessings of Corn. This does not count towards your maximum number of activations of Blessing of Corn, because you can only activate 2 per turn, it says, above. When you roll the 8 dice. This only allows you to activate 1, though. So it doesn't matter how many combinations you roll on this one. You can only pick 1 for it to be active for the rest of the game. That's crazy. Just kill a unit, get another roll on the table. Oh,
It's for the rest of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, they're permanent.
Wow.
Yeah. You very much, by like turn 2 or 3, depending on how charges and unit sizes and stuff work out, you'll have all of these activated. And then there's some more things you can do, like Resurrect Angron on 666s, and that's basically what you'll be going for if you play Angron. Because, like, I like Angron a lot, and we'll talk about him later, that you just basically are just going to spend the last 3 turns of the game, and every time you kill a unit, just trying to Resurrect Angron. It's pretty good. For the Skull Throne, 1 roller unit from your army has not been selected in the fight phase, or not selected this fight phase. Until the end of the phase, each time the model makes an attack against a character, monster, or vehicle unit, add 1 to the wound roll. Incredible. 1 CP plus 1 to wound against most targets in the game. Very good. Khorne cares not. Fight phase after enemy unit is selected as targets. Subtract 1 damage from the attacks. Really good.
Why, like, this is the first army that we're going through here that I'm like, this feels stronger than everything else.
Well, you have to remember, World Eaters have exactly 0 guns.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're really good at the one thing they do.
They are very good at the exact one thing they do. They don't have psychic. They don't have guns.
Yeah, it's just
they are just here for the fight phase. Movement and fight are all they do. Blood Offering. Any phase, select 1 World Eater unit from your army destroyed while within range of an objective marker. Sticky objectives. It is just sticky objectives for when a unit dies.
Units dying though.
Yeah, it's great. It's what I mean. Your backfield unit dies. You're like, oh, sick. Thanks for the objective. It's pretty good. Until the end of your turn, in your movement phase, 1 World Eater unit from your army. Just change the advance to a 6.
Oh, so free advance and charge, and then
you just auto-make something to 6. So, I don't know. Where is Angron? Is he? Please tell me he's the first one we're talking about. He is the first one we talk about. He just get to move like 22 inches turn 1, and then run, and then charge. Or sorry, that's including the run. 22 inches, then can charge.
Yikes!
Huge yikes.
You see Angron on the board, and you hope that you go first.
Yeah. Even then, though, he might resurrect.
All right, Angron's the problem. You see world eaters hit the board. You hope that you have a lot of.
You hope you kill everything other than him, and then you deal with him later.
Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah, he's just a threat that keeps coming back. But we'll talk about him in a second. Favorite of Khorne. World Eaters models only. Make a Blessing of Khorne roll. Before doing anything else, the bear can use this enhancement. If it does, discard all dice rolls and make a new Blessing of Khorne roll. This new roll does not count as a reroll, so you can use all of your rules that allow rerolls to manipulate individual dice still. So this is just like, man, I rolled absolutely terrible. Scrap the dice, get new ones. I think this is a staple relic. I don't know about you, but this seems incredible. Turn 1, you don't get the run and charge and the +2 movement going first. Ship them.
Yeah, that's insane.
Or, like, if you do get the run and charge, you're just saving it for, like, Angron Resurrects or something else. It's so versatile, I feel. Battle Lust. This makes your heroic intervention cost 0. It's okay. Berserker Glaive. Add 1 to the attacks and damage character melee weapon equipped to the bearer. Each time the bearer ends a charge move, roll 1d3. Add the result until the end of the turn. Add the result of the roll to attacks and damage characteristics of those melee attacks instead. So once per game. Wait. Oh no! Each time the bearer ends a charge move, you just get D3 amplified. Wow, it's really good. I did not catch that the first time around. That's insane on the Master of Possession, or not Master of Possession. What is he called? He's the melee character with an axe. We'll talk about him later. But yeah, that is a very good one. I think this is very good. And then the last one is half all damage. Probably good on a Demon Prince or something. Helm of the Blade, Brazen Iron. Yeah.
Demon Princes are still characters, right?
Yeah, they're still characters. Yep, they can still get enhancements and stuff.
That's crazy.
Okay, the big man himself, Angron. He's 8 attacks, strength 16, AP minus 4, damage D6 plus 2. Pretty okay. Or he's 18 attacks, hit on 2, strength 8, AP 2, damage 2. Very good as well. And then his Wrathful Presence ability. This is just the normal aura you pick. You pick one of these 3. You can either add 1 to charge rolls for your army to be even faster turn 1. Starting strength of unit is, while within 6, add 1 to attacks, characteristics, and melee weapons equipped to those models. So if they're below starting strength at all, you get +1 attacks. It's pretty okay. For the purpose of this ability, units of the starting strength of 1 is considered to be below starting strength. So on a charge, he can actually be 10 attacks or 20 attacks with his big attacks if you use this and charge. Or you can reroll all failed to hit rolls. That's really strong.
That is very strong.
And then he gives you the ability Reborn in Blood. Each time you make a Blessing of Corn roll, if this model is destroyed when it happens, you can use triple sixes from that roll, use this ability. If you do, the model is no longer destroyed and is placed into reserves with full wounds remaining. So apparently there's some tricks that like he dies, you fight with a unit, you use the strat to roll 8 dice, you roll triple sixes, and he goes back in reserves. On your turn, and then it flips over your opponent turn, end of their movement phase, you 1 CP, put him back on the board. He dies again, you go to your turn, it's a new battle round, you roll 3 sixes again, and he resurrects.
That's ridiculous.
So he can resurrect like more than 5 times a game, technically. I don't think like 10 is technically possible. Yeah, no, it's like you can do it like 8 times if you roll insane. Because he's gonna pop up on your opponent's turn with rapid ingress because he has deep strike as well.
Is he?
Yeah, you're just gonna keep forcing him into your opponent. You're just gonna keep making them deal with him.
He's too angry to die.
He is too angry to die. Karn the Betrayer. He's okay. While this model's leading unit, each time while that unit makes attack, reroll, hit roll, and wound roll of 1. At the end of your charge phase, this model's leading unit engagement range. They must take a leadership check. If the test has failed, one bodyguard model of your choice is destroyed. That kills one of your models. Because Karn is notable for killing his own friends. If this model is destroyed by melee attack, do not remove it from play. It fights before it dies. So it just fights on death. He just fights on death. He's good. Like, he's relatively good. He's alright.
Yeah, pretty good.
Like, I think he's okay. It's just, the thing that holds him back is he can only join Berserkers. And I really don't think Berserkers are the backbone of the army anymore. Like, they're good, but I don't know if I'm making room for Karn or not. He can't take an enhancement either, is my big downfall. And we already want to bring a lot of characters. Okay, Lord Invocatus. He's still insane. So he's leader, scout 6, has great melee. He can charge in a turn in which his unit falls back. He's eligible to shoot and charge in a turn in which his unit falls back. At the start of the battle, before any moves are made using the scout ability, you can select up to 2 friendly world infantry units within 6 of this model that do not have scout ability. Until the end of the battle, all of the units selected have the scout 6 ability. So you just give scout 6 to 2 infantry units. Powerful.
That's insane. That's insane.
Yeah, you're probably going to do it to your exalted 8-bound units. So they are basically just 8-bound. Warriors Demon Prince. While friendly warriors infantry units within 6 of this model, models in that unit have a 4-up invulnerable save. This is actually super powerful. Like, he's just good. Like, your army doesn't, like, if you bring a lot of chaff or something, like jackals and stuff, you might end up bringing this guy. A 4-up invuln's no joke. And jackals have a 6-up feel no pain base. Go to a 5-up if you have doubles. So I could see, like, a list with, like, a few demon princes and just mass tons of jackals. Because they're a 4-up, 6-up, or 4-up, 5-up against just everything in the game. And they're cheap. The one with wings, he battle shocks enemy unit, and then he picks a sworn foe, and then he gets reroll hit and wound rolls against that sworn foe. And then at the end of the battle, if he does not kill his sworn foe, he is destroyed at the end of the game. If his sworn foe is on the table, you just straight up kill your demon prince at the end of turn 5. If it's alive. He did fail. Yeah, it's an Oath of Corn. Yeah. It's cool. I like it. It's fluffy. I think it's actually super, like, cute. I don't know if it's great. Not a huge fan of it. World Eater Lord on Juggernaut. Leading unit can reroll all of the following made for charge rolls, blood surge rolls, all of that. Oh, I feel like we have to go back real fast. Lord Invocatus is a leader. He joins 8-bound, Exalted 8-bound, and Corn Berserkers with that Scout 6. Notably, just normal 8-bound have Scout 6. So throw him in that unit. Throw him in a unit of 6 of those guys, and this unit's freaking just chopping the world. He has Stampede. He does D3 Mortal Wounds, or D3 plus 3 if he rolls a 6 on the charge. 1, he does nothing. He's pretty good. He has basically the same exact stat line as Invocatus. And he equips to all the same thing. Master of Execution, whose I was talking about earlier, that bonus D3 attacks and strength would be huge on. He gives fight first. He's just a really choppy character. You probably are good enough putting the Relic on the Juggernaut Lord as well, so you get the bonus to both, because I believe it's all attacks. I don't believe it's pick one, I believe it's both. So, yeah. Pretty good all-rounder. Corn Berserkers. These guys are pretty cute. Each time an enemy unit is selected to shoot, after this unit's finished making its attacks, if the enemy unit, if any models in this unit were destroyed as a result of those attacks, make a Blood Surge move. To do so, roll 1d6, move that number of inches, finishes as close as possible to the enemy unit. When you're doing this, models can be moved into melee range. This is crazy how this interacts with Overwatch, Colin. Because it just says each time an enemy unit is selected to shoot.
That's ridiculous.
So you Overwatch them, they move d6 if you kill one of them.
Why?
Yeah, and they can just end in like you're just giving them better charges.
That seems just so insane.
Yeah. Okay, on to Jackals. They're 4 attacks on the charge, or sorry, they're 3 attacks on the charge, strength 4, hit on 4s. They're nothing crazy baseline. They have a 6 that feel no pain, but they have, at the end of your command phase, if this unit is within range of an objective marker, you count controlling it, even if the model's already moved off. Sticky objectives. Just good. They're just like cheap, good objective holders.
Yeah, sticky objectives are always good.
The World Eaters Terminator Squad is so lackluster for me. Really hope we get Red Butchers when we get our new Codex in 10th edition. Because man, this unit is just like super whelming to me. It's got better than a DG Terminator unit, but it's man. It's not my favorite. Okay, let's move on to the bread and butter. 8-bound, Scout 6. Aura, while friendly World Eaters unit within 6 of this unit, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, reroll wound rolls of 1. If the target is below half strength, reroll wound rolls instead. Also fantastic. These guys are all armed with Eviscerators, I believe. Sorry, right? Eviscerators. Yeah, 8-bound Eviscerators. So there's 7 attacks on the charge, strength 6, AP 2, damage 2. The Sergeant has a Lacerator and a Eviscerator, so it can do either or, I believe. And you can replace that with a Heavy Chain Glaive. Which, I think you'll probably stick with the Lacerator, because I think you will just want the viability of going either 8-bound Eviscerator or Lacerator. Because they're both good profiles. Where the Heavy Chain Glaive is just really a lot of attacks at weird strength. Okay, 8-bound. They don't have Scout 6 base, but if you're rocking Invocatus, you can give 2 units Scout 6. Really good when they go to move in 11 and can run and charge turn 1.
You wonder where all your movement went from Death Guard. They just gave it to World Eaters.
Yeah, they just gave it to World Eaters. They also have a really good aura. Each time an enemy unit within 6 of this unit is selected to fall back, it must take a leadership test. If it has failed, they must remain stationary this phase. Great. You put these guys right next to a unit of normal 8-bound, and they are just rocking up the field, rerolling 1s to wound, making people stay stationary. You're basically just going for multi-charges and tagging a bunch of people. And just hoping they just can't move. It's really good. World Eaters Land Raider. This thing's fantastic. as well. It's not as crazy as everything else, but if you have berserkers or something, I could see Karn and a unit of berserkers getting inside one of these and doing some absolute damage. Because it just moves so far. You have like a 20-something inch threat range. Right. What is it? So it moves 10. It moves 10. They disembark 3, and then they have like a... I think their charge range is actually less if you're just on foot. But the relevant thing is you can put 8 bound and they take up 2 slots. So you can put a 6-man or 2 3-man exalted 8 bounds, shove them inside here, and then they're protected and they don't need to scout. They can just springboard off this. Or just position really far ahead turn 1. I think it's okay. I think it's got a little bit of play. It's not bad to have a little bit of shooting. World Eaters, Predator, Annihilator. Predators are good. I think they're pretty decent for the points cost. They're not the best. I think they're very mediocre. I think they're okay.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I think they're all right.
Yep, the Destructor is just a different Predator top cannon, basically. Just autocannons. World Defiler. It's a Defiler. It can't be that good. I'm sorry, that's the honest truth. We've not seen Defilers be really good. And he really just doesn't do anything here. Same for the Forge Fiend. I'm just not here for it. It just like doesn't have good. Basically, I think when you're playing World Eaters, you're gonna go for a bunch of 8 bound. You're gonna go for a bunch of Jackals. You're probably gonna go for Angron just to use dice. Because you're really gonna use those dice very quickly. Like you're gonna get all your things done. You're like, man, I guess I can just go for 666s and get a free 400-point model back. World Eaters Hellbrute, it's okay. It gets after it gets attacked, it basically gets to either shoot or fight depending on the phase. So it's good. Helldrakes are interesting, I think. They just like can run and charge turn 1 and be in their hover mode or whatever. Right? I believe that's correct. Yeah, it has hover, so you just start on the board hover. It moves 12 inches then with run and charge. It's slower than a lot of your other World Eaters, sadly. And less effective. Yeah, I know, right? A flyer is slower than a bunch of World Eaters. World Eaters Mauler Fiend. This thing actually looks a little bit interesting. You get to add 2 to the charge roll if the unit is below starting strength. Each time this model makes attack below starting strength, add 1 to the hit roll. Yep, it's just a bunch of attacks at good strength and everything. It's good movement. It's pretty fast. I think it's cool. I think it's interesting. If you're going to play a Mauler Fiend, this is probably the time you're going to play a Mauler Fiend. Rhinos. These are just good. These are just good to put your guys in, rock them up the board, let them die, hop out with a bunch of Berserkers. Yeah, there's okay. Spawn pretty much got the absolute bat. Before, we used to farm these guys for points, for the Blood Tithe points. We no longer have to do that, so they're no longer really good. They're also 2-man units all the time with a pretty mediocre stat line / point value.
Yeah, I mean, just like Death Guard, they're mediocre.
Yeah, they're very mediocre. You'll bring them if you got points left over and really can't find a use for it. Khorne, Lord of Skulls. This thing's just cool. Like, I don't think it's good, but this thing's just cool. Each time you make a Blessing Khorne roll, for each enemy unit that is destroyed by one of these attacks in the previous battle round, add 1 or subtract 1 to the dice rolled. Each dice can only be modified in this way once, and the die cannot be modified below 1 or 6. So it's kind of cute. The one relevant thing I really want to talk about, we talked about being able to manipulate the charge, and I kind of just passed over them. Jackals have an icon of Khorne, and so do Khorne Berserkers. That lets you re-roll one of the dice for each objective held by a unit with a icon. So you're basically, you can re-roll 1 to 2 of those dice, of those 8 dice every time you go for it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I got to re-roll 4 dice today. I had my Berserkers and Jackals on all types of objectives, and you just get to re-roll like 4 dice. And then this is every time you go for the Blessing of Khorne roll. So even if you spend the 1 CP to go for something else like Resurrecting Angron, you're just rolling basically 12d6 dice looking for 2 6s, which mathematically should be an auto resurrection if you're going for 12d6 effectively. This army's strong. This army's very strong.
Yeah, I'm kind of impressed. I didn't think that I would be with World Eaters, but
Well, the crazy thing is Invocatus and the 8-bound. So Invocatus also doesn't have to join a unit of 8-bound. He's move 12 baseline. So with the +2 move, he's move 14. He has a 6-inch pregame, so he's move 20 if you're going first. Either way, scout 6. So move 20. He can advance auto 6 for 1 CP, 26 inches, and then he can charge. So you are going roughly 33 inches threat range with him, right? 7 plus 26? Right? Yep. 6, 14, 6. Yep, 26 plus 7. You just threaten like 33 inches with him. And you threaten, You threaten 3 less with everything else? Like the 8-bound all threaten like 30 inches if they roll a 6 on the advance, or you just need to replace the strat. No matter where you need to be on the board, you can basically get there with this army.
yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. Also, you just get to, 8-bound running alongside Exalted 8-bounds, because you scout 2 units of Exalted. 1 obviously stays back in reserves. But you can scout the 3 Exalted unit, or 3 normal units, and then scout 2 Exalted that are within range of Invocatus. You basically just get to rock up and try to tag the entire board, and they all have to make these checks, these battle shock tests. Not to mention, when you go in and hit them, you can sprint that strat we talked about earlier, which just battle shocks everybody no matter what their strength is. No matter what their starting strength is, right then. Everybody takes a battle shock test. It's so good.
Nutty. That is nutty.
So, if you like playing Chaos, you like playing Melee, this is the army for you.
Yeah.
Well, with that, let me know what you guys think.
It's going to be... I think these guys will see a lot of play.
If you can buy them, they'll see a lot of play. These have been sold out for months.
Yeah, I was about to say, they've still... I don't think any of our local stores really carry much
Not
leaders right now.
No, I bought a lot of these a while back.
Garrett's the reason that we don't have...
No.
Heard.
Okay, well, thank you all for joining us. Go check out our merch down below and join our new Discord. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
See you.